Hello, and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy, episode number 95 for the week of February 11th, 2013. We're laughing way too much before the start of this podcast for what is going to be remembered as one of the saddest podcasts we've ever recorded in our entire life, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Starting with the guy on my left. Who are you people?
Brock Sager.
Omar.
Geoff Johns. Nope. Sorry, Bryce.
Here we go.
Rub it in.
Now back after a hiatus, going on another hiatus, but back for a special episode.
Yeah, I'm back. Toby is back.
Welcome back, Toby.
And
you.
Charlie.
Now, I find the older you get, you kind of only run into your friends at two things. That's weddings and funerals. No one's getting married today, all right? So that means we must all be here for a very sad, very somber event that we must all, commemorate for. Maybe I'll have a drink or two.
Really?
Well,
that's why I brought it up.
We'll raise glasses at the end of the episode here or something. I don't know. We'll do something
or
here.
right now.
Don't get your
right
hopes
now.
up, guys. Don't
Hey.
get your hopes up. He's not going to drink.
No,
So
no,
this
pour
is-
it, pour it.
This is a
I know
sad
Charlie won't
episode.
drink, but I don't.
He'll. Oh, it is a special day.
Let me go get another cup.
No, I'll drink too.
It is a very, very sad day, so
Yeah,
we'll all drink.
I think, we got a handful of stuff here to talk about, but definitely something was announced earlier this morning, this being Monday the 11th.
And it's serious when Ryan is texting me, like, before I'm awake.
I texted like 900 people this morning at like 8:30 in the morning. I'm like,
You didn't
oh,
text
God.
me.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
Wow.
I did. I texted
actually-
everyone.
You didn't text me about it.
I texted everyone.
I didn't get it.
I got
Yes.
texted. Well, check your phone again.
I
Maybe it's
called
there.
you, and you didn't answer, so I called Charlie.
Well, anyway.
That just sounds like an ex-girlfriend, Brock.
After all these years,
I
we've
didn't
been
call
trying
her.
to get Ryan to drink and Charlie to drink. All we needed was for Geoff Johns to quit Green Lantern. That's all it took.
See, even
after
those
all
words,
these years.
No big deal.
even
Once
those
every 9
words,
years.
even those words they just hurt. And yes, for those that don't know, although I'm assuming everyone does by now, Geoff Johns, writer extraordinaire of Green Lantern, after 9 years, is stepping down from the Green Lantern comic books.
As of issue 20.
As of issue 20, including not only Geoff Johns, but every other person at DC, including Peter Tomasi.
Involved in Lantern books.
Involved, right, well, right, sorry. They're all the Green Lantern books.
Yes, everyone in DC is stepping down in May. Just so you know, that's what the fuck was prequeling.
Yeah. Tony Bedard
That would
and
be a big what the fuck moment.
Tony Bedard and Peter Milligan. So DC is doing a total creator change on all their Green Lantern titles. I'm assuming because Johns is leaving, they're like, well, this is a good idea or a good time to get everyone and move all the books in a new direction. Yeah, crap.
Well, they're going to need
Yeah.
people to write the 7, 8 Justice League books that are going to be coming out.
Oh yeah. Well, there was a big article on Comic Resources. I'm sorry, no, not. It was on Yahoo actually, and they had it on. Then Geoff Johns had an article on the Source, DC's little blog,
Yeah.
where he was like, we're full steam ahead on Justice League and all this other stuff. So, which I heard that Jeff Lemire is co-writing Justice League with him, or Justice League America. I don't remember which
isn't
one.
it Justice League Dark that he's collaborating with them?
No, like one of the two Justice
No,
League books.
it's Justice League of America.
Huh.
So that'll be interesting. I love Jeff Lemire. So.
Because I know when they were talking about unifying it around about the time that Justice League International went away, that he was talking about bringing Justice League Dark into the fold and how he had a lot of plans with the...
I think it's just Justice League. I think it's America, but I'll have to go take a look. I don't know what else to say. At least myself, and I don't can speak for Charlie, obviously. This has probably been our favorite book in the last decade.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know all of us here have read this book and enjoyed it and liked it. And critically, Green Lantern has been one of the most successful, most critically acclaimed books from DC in the last decade. The movie aside, whatever. But just revamping the line, taking Green Lantern and making it DC's #1 book for years. This is an unparalleled success that just I have not seen kind of recreated. We've seen guys like Bendis on Avengers come in and do stuff similar. He started it around the same time. To obviously great success for Marvel, but I think making the Avengers a #1 title is an easier task than Green Lantern, who had never been a top-selling title.
Yeah.
In recent years had been borderline, C-lists.
Not to mention the book at the time was really, really low in sale numbers and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, such a drastic turnaround. What's everyone? Let's talk. Talk some Green Lantern.
It was sad. It's totally sad, especially seeing where they're going. I mean, it's sad to see it go. I mean, we lost Brubaker on Cap this year, in Winter Soldier. So,
but we had fucking warning on that.
Yeah, this is true.
This was the goddamn issue 20 solicitation. Couple of
I'm getting scared sitting
hours
across from Charlie right now.
Before putting up the Green Lantern solicitations for the issue 20, and they announced Geoff Johns is leaving the book. That's
I should say
4 more issues.
Earlier this, we knew Brubaker was going to leave Cap way in advance.
Yeah.
And even Bendis on Avengers.
Yeah, exactly. We had well over a year worth of sort of like coming to terms with the fact that those books are changing.
Yeah. They announced a lot of this stuff pretty far in advance. Over the weekend, DC gave all their solicitation info out to various sites, which they normally do, except for Green Lantern. And to me, all weekend I was like, yes, the start of the next big story. What's coming up next? I don't want to spoil it. Yes. I never for a second thought the phrase last issue by Geoff Johns was what was actually going to be on that solicitation.
Yeah.
I did not even cross my mind for a second.
No.
And it wasn't until the solicitations came out that they revealed that everybody else was also leaving the respective titles.
Now, do you think they're going to jump over and either help out like in the movies, or do you think they're going to jump over and like help out with the Superman comics, try to revive that franchise?
Well, no. What's
it's that family of books?
No, because Andy Diggle's taking over Superman, so they already have that announced.
And I mean, when it comes to this announcement and stuff, so John still is confirmed as the current writer of Justice League of America, and Aquaman. And he also said that he's working on a project with Doug Mackey still that hasn't been announced yet. So it's not like he's breaking up the team per se. They're just moving on to some other kind of project.
And I don't see Peter Tomasi going to some like whack-ass titles or books. I'm sure they're going to try to, like you said, keep that team together because from every, panel that I've been in where it's usually me following that super team that DC has with, Tomasi, Monk, Rice, Johns. They all say, we never want to stop working with each other. We're like, this is the most incredible collaboration that we've ever seen. We all go off each other. We all vibe off each other. Bedard included, because Bedard and Tomasi seem to be really tight too. Why would they not put all of them on Justice League? Because if in fact, Justice League is going to be, what they want to really push forward to prepare for this movie that's going to be coming in 2020, I don't know.
2030.
Why not do it? Why not start now? If they want to build the scripts, that's a good place to start.
Well, you have Johns on the two main ones. Jeff Lemire moving off Justice League Dark, putting Peter Tomasi on Justice League Dark. Or Peter Milligan go back on Justice League Dark. Sure, because he started it. Peter Tomasi and Tony Bedard, I mean, I don't know what you do with them Justice League-wise. They could. But
well, I mean, they're also trying to build the brand with the various characters in Justice League of America. I mean, their Vibes having his own book, so...
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they try and spin off some solo books for various Justice League characters as well. Like, it would be kind of cool to see a Cyborg book.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be hard, no matter who takes over for Johns. It's easily the biggest challenge.
And that's why part of me is just kind of, I don't even have a way to process, like, you almost don't want to be the one to follow up his run because it's so definitive.
Yeah.
That
you want to be the one after the guy. After the dude that screwed up. Yeah, let me go fix that guy.
Like, you almost want a temporary person to be on it for one story arc and then bring in the real team you're going to have.
I don't know. I wouldn't hate on us having a DC universe with no Green Lanterns minus Boz for a little while, because I think Green Lantern went to as far as it could and give it a little break. We see that in comics. There's an ebb and flow in the way they do storytelling, and they put a spotlight somewhere else in the universe. Yeah. I could see, Hal and Carol getting married. I could see fucking Guy Gardner becoming a cop in Boston. I could see, all of that shit happening. And then, who knows, 5 years, 10 years later, we'll still be around reading books, and then maybe we'll see a reunion of sorts.
At least I can say this about the Green Lantern issue 20. It's going to be an extra-sized issue. It's supposed to be 64 pages.
Yeah.
It's going to be an expensive book, but they actually have with digital copy, so I'm happy.
And each of the three other books are all going to be like the epilogue to the main book.
Yeah.
So including, should there even be a core anymore? That's part of the Green Lantern core, which it seems like,
Why would there not be?
Well, they were a lot of the stuff that's been going on in Green Lantern has been breaking up the core, and the Guardians kind of
Going crazy
and getting rid of the Green Lanterns entirely.
Yeah, I can totally see.
We could end up with a soul. We could be back to the Kyle Rayner soul Green Lantern.
Yeah, but then maybe it's just
status.
because I remember from the article that we all read,
supposedly Johns is taking Boz.
Oh yeah, he's all no. I'm bringing Boz. Boz with me, and it seemed to be a big deal to him and to other executives, at DCU, and kind of like communicating the cross-cultural acceptance of Arab Muslim Americans and everything. And I think it's cool to have that. So he's like our new Kyle.
I mean, not to be overly optimistic about this, but I'm expecting Hal's going to be back in the Justice League on issue 21 or 22. Well, because he's going to be officially back. Because
the
right
cover
now
is
he's
him.
missing.
Yeah, the cover is him back. All right, I mean
Yeah.
they've shown the covers for all these books now.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah,
I
they're
didn't
all-
see the
Hal
issues, the covers
won't
yet.
be missing anymore. Therefore,
Where you want to go?
it's sort of easy for me to go. And as soon as there's a lull in the story arc, Hal will be back, or they may bring him back at the end of it. Who knows what they'll do? But I fully expect Hal's going to be folded back into the JLA. Not the JLA, but the Justice League.
So I'm a 100% Marvel guy, 0% DC guy.
But
You used to.
Can I fucking
No.
finish my...
Buck
No, you
Green
can't.
Lantern.
Unbelievable. I can't even
Censorship.
fucking finish my sentence. 9 years ago. It was the end of my sentence, motherfuckers. And this guy named Ryan Higgins says, actually, you know who we have this signing with is this guy named Geoff Johns. He writes this book called Green Lantern.
Was it 9 years ago?
Yeah, that was not 9 years ago.
It was like
You
5 years ago.
Fucking not let the truth get in the way of a good story, Ryan.
Let's hear a
Fuck.
good story. Let's hear a good story.
Well, it hasn't been a
damn.
good story so far.
Well,
Wow.
that's because Brock
Don't-
can't fucking give me 30 seconds.
Don't fuck with the
That's
Church
what-
of Higgins, bro. Don't fuck with the Church of Higgins.
what
We'll
my
get
wife
you.
Yeah. Anyway,
Continue.
So I'm this neophyte comic book reader collector, and Ryan says, "Oh, we've got this guy. His last name is Johns. His first name is Jeff, even though it's spelled fucking weird. And he's coming in to sign comic books, and he writes this little book called Green Lantern. And I'm like, Green Lantern, motherfucker. What is this book? This makes no sense to me. So most of the bullshit aside, changed my life. Bullshit aside, fucking great book. Started collecting it, all Marvel, almost all Marvel, and
Green Lantern?
started collecting Green Lantern as my first insert into DC, and through Ryan and Geoff Johns, not joking, started collecting a bunch of DC, and it was fucking legit. It was great. I started collecting all the Lantern books, and by extension, started. This is when Sinestro Core War started picking up, and then The Blackest Night started picking up. So I started picking up all these books. It was started to get out of control. My wife was like, "What the fuck?" And it was, and I don't regret it for a second. And it was great reading, and it was just really enjoyable. The epilogue to this awesome story is that it started to get not so good after the New 52, which was terrible. But the whole Geoff Johns Green Lantern thing was amazing. I, due to budgetary constraints, took that off more or less my pull list. But Green Lantern had a place in my pull list for, years and years. Probably, I picked it up a little late. I had to pick up some trades before I picked up the singles. But, a couple of years later, I was picking up, Green Lantern by Johns, but also Green Lantern Core. I forget who it was by, but...
Yeah, it's the Peter Tomasi stuff, yeah.
Okay, the core, and at first, before the budget kicked in, having a baby, but Red Lantern, Green Lantern Core, New Guardians, all that shit. It was great. I'm sorry to see it go. It was a moment in time. I loved it. Bendis's almost identical length of time on Avengers. I'm not sure how many internet comparisons there have been, but
those are always kind of the two big,
right?
I guess Spidey, Ultimate Spidey too by Bendis.
Yeah.
Sure. So,
which has been longer, but that's
fair play. And different levels of titles, right? Like you said, Avengers is an A title, and Green Lantern was like a B or C title before he took it on, and now it's I would say an A title.
Yeah,
absolutely,
definitely an A title.
And fucking much better on Johns. Much love for that. Love Bendis, but he took an A title and kept it an A title, whereas Johns took like a C title and made it an A title, and nobody can take him away from that. Nobody can take that away from him, I should say.
Yeah. He did the same thing with JSA and Teen Titans also.
Flash.
Flash. Well, Flash was good.
He's been doing that quite a bit.
Well, I loved everything he did on JSA and Flash and stuff. He never took them all the way to A. Their sales definitely were much better than we have seen on those books since and such. But there's a huge difference between the sales number he was able to reach with Green Lantern and truly making him stand up there with the Trinity, basically, as somebody that people closely associated with DC Comics and that line, compared to like a lot of people still would go JSA Who.
Yeah, but I would challenge also the fact that Johns was such a strong writer and had such an overwhelmingly kind of like cult response to readers that opened the pages of GL and jumped into this world of OA and never were into it before, that said fuck. They were like me and they said, damn, I need to read everything this fucking guy wrote. And I jumped on Teen Titans. I did that afterwards. You remember I did JSA. I fucking pulled all the shit from your store that you had, which for the most part you did a really good job of having the whole runs. That's what I love about Comics Conspiracy. I'm not giving you a hand job right now. This is true shit. But I don't really need it. It's one-stop shopping. And I'm sure there was many others. And if there was some kind of numbers that people could look at, probably impossible to look at, they probably did the same thing like me. I jumped on Action Comics. I'm not a big Superman fan, and I fucking love the stories that Johns was writing on that shit too. So,
and Blackest Night, being one of the biggest crossovers of the last decade, Marvel's definitely had huge success with their big crossovers. Johns, almost again single-handedly with DC with Infinite Crisis, and then Blackest Night being such giant events for DC. And Blackest Night, in my mind, a lot of these big events I feel kind of fall flat. Blackest Night to me didn't. It was as good as a crossover. It could have just been a Green Lantern story, and no one would have ever been the wiser. It didn't have to be this big mega event. But they did such a good job tying it in and making it a giant crossover that's hard to do.
Well, one of the things that I like for Blackest Night, since we're on that, one of the biggest successes for Blackest Night in my mind is they set up a particular story that made a very good entry point to people reading titles they wouldn't normally read, because the nature of bringing back somebody who was important to those characters, they kind of talk about the history before they brought them in, and it's really hard to jump in on a title and not be lost on what's going on.
Yeah.
And the nature of this event made it very easy not to be lost.
Totally.
And I don't think I've ever read a event in comics that I think worked that well. Even by Johns. The crossovers and stuff in Infinite Crisis didn't work as well. Flashpoint was very self-contained.
Sure.
So, yeah. But.
Now, Comic Resources has a number of writers who they were like, who would be best suited to take over Green Lantern. And these are all quality picks, and I would love all of them on the title. So real quick, we'll go over these here. Peter Tomasi, clearly taking everyone, bumping him up a book. Peter Tomasi takes over Green Lantern. Bedard switch, because he's doing
New Guardians.
New Guardians right now. Switch him over to Green Lantern Corps. Move up Peter Milligan
like the Batman
to New Guardians, right? And get someone else on Red Lantern. Basically,
like Robin becomes Red Robin,
right? Right. Just moving everyone up.
Yeah.
Jeff Lemire on here. No way in hell he can write another book. So if he's off something like Justice League Dark, right, to be a perfect example. His Green Arrow, and I don't know if I don't know if we'd planned to talk about this, but did everyone read Green Arrow last week? Mm-hmm. That was incredible.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah, you still have any in the shop?
Yeah, I still got a few. Cool. Yeah. Green Arrow number 17. Jeff Lemire took over. The first 16 issues don't exist. Oh my god, it's so good. It's so fantastic. Jeff Lemire knocking everything out of the ballpark. This guy's the man.
I'll do it just so I have something to talk about with Chris. So, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, it's incredible. If he took over, perfect. That'd be fine. Joshua Falkov, who recently is on the soon-to-be-canceled iVampire title. Again, the way he writes iVampire, again, a character that's kind of but he was able to take that and not to the same level of success, clearly, like a Green Lantern, but which has more of a natural kind of fan base to it. But what he was able to do with iVampire, take that and continue that sort of line of thinking with Green Lantern, absolutely. iVampire is a fantastic book, and I'd love to see him get more work. James Robinson, sure.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite writers. He's incredible. He can do whatever he wants. So, I mean, it'd be different, but he's a different style of writer than Geoff Johns, but it wouldn't be bad because he's great. John Layman,
that's one I would kind of like to see.
I'm kind of hit or miss on
Layman's
him.
on
Detective right now.
Yeah.
He's been doing some great stuff with Detective.
Choose his big, his big hit. Again, I don't really have an opinion on him one way or another, so he's kind of the one that I'm kind of on. However, if only these guys were names, and if only people would buy every book they do. This is the pick. This is the only pick that counts. This is who should get it, and they're not going to. But man, would I love it. And that's Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning.
Yep.
They are amazing. All their space stuff, all the Annihilation stuff for Marvel, their Legion work.
Are they still doing stuff right now with DC?
No, they're not doing anything. Resurrection Man was the last thing, and that's it.
Yeah. Aren't they doing a lot of stuff for Marvel right now?
Yeah.
They're doing the hyper...
Did they sign a, what's it called, contract?
I don't think so.
Exclusive? No?
I haven't really heard of anybody going like fully...
Those exclusive contracts are done. Yeah. They don't do them anymore.
Okay.
I would love Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning to take over. They do space stuff like no one's business, but for whatever reason, they just haven't hit that level that some of these other guys have, and I would love to see that.
I mean, they were put on Annihilation, right? And
yeah,
I read that, because of your guys' recommendation, and I was blown away. I was really into it.
Yeah,
but it did feel very, Green Lantern.
Yeah,
and I can see the connection between there. But can they go higher than that and bring it to different levels? I don't know.
Well, we're gonna talk.
That's like for me. No matter who they put it on the title, it's
not happening.
Following up Johns and everything, I don't see the next person being able to sort of take it to a next level. Hopefully, they can utilize the mythology, and I think that may actually be one of the things that's potentially good about this new direction. Is I do kind of feel like it would be a good time for the next writer to decompress things a little bit more and actually tell just a strict Larfleeze story without sort of working it into everything, or like there's still a lot of sort of smaller stories you can tell.
Well, to get back to DNA is what they're known as, Dan and Andy. Getting back to them really quickly, what kills me so much is all this Thanos love and the Guardians of the Galaxy movie and all this stuff and all this praise that's going to get thrown at Bendis and Loeb, the new Nova book and all this when that comes out. These are the guys that started the shit.
Yeah, sure.
And man, these guys need they need that rep. They are... For however awesome the Guardians of the Galaxy movie is going to be, it's because of these guys. The Guardians were nothing before these guys did the book. Nova had not been in anything for years until he took over, and they made them the character and eventually killed them off, which is fine. I don't mind that. If you want to end a character for the time being, and it works well, something like killing Blue Beetle, Ted Kord, no problem when they did it, because that was the best Blue Beetle book that's ever been written. Best Blue Beetle story of all time. I have no problem if that's how you want to go out. God, I wish they would take over Green Lantern, but it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Guardians of the Galaxy was always this quirky, cosmic kind of silliness. For me, I connected more with the '90s stuff before I went back and read the DNA stuff. So it was always like Ron Lim, Jim Starlin from the '90s, and I was just like, yeah, I don't know how they can, possibly be taken seriously, and to see how they made it just much more dark, putting more characters like Gamora and fucking Drax,
Yeah.
like as centerpieces of the team. That shit was ill.
Groot and Rocket Raccoon. That's because
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
Well, even with Annihilation Conquest, they had like Wraith and a couple other characters that were starting to
Brought back Quasar.
Yeah, they brought back Quasar. So, they were doing a lot of stuff, but can't wait for that omnibus.
So I think one.
Are we doing a moment of silence to drink this?
Well, I was going to say.
pouring some down for our homies.
Well, I was going to say we should,
Not on this floor.
I don't think Ryan wants us pouring anything on the floor.
Yeah,
We're not going to pour anything. We'll pour it down your throat.
We'll move. Well, hold on. Before we wrap this up, I think we've all read enough Green Lantern at this point. We've all got to have a favorite moment from John's run up to now. It doesn't have to be your absolute
That's
favorite.
a hard one.
Just something you like to remember.
You got to give that to us early and let us prepare for that one.
Well, I'll start because I got one, and so
Of course, because you've been thinking about this all day.
No. Well,
I want to be the smart guy on the table. I know what we're going to do.
I wake up in the morning and I'm like, Geoff Johns' Green Lantern run, that's so good. And I spend all day, every day thinking about it. Okay, so this isn't new. Just one thing, but I have something. The genius of his run, to me, summed up in one very simple page, very simple panel. And it was early on in the run, and it's led to everything that came afterwards. And I remember reading it and just going, how has no one thought of this before? And that is the panel where they introduce the Sinestro Corps. Just one simple panel, and he's just got the ring. He's like, welcome to the Sinestro Corps. Of course. How has no one ever done this before? That led to all the other Lantern colors. That led to Blackest Night. That led to everything.
Yeah.
I just don't know. How have we gone 40, 50 years of Green Lantern Sinestro and this never came up? What a simple but amazing thing. So, yeah.
Those are always the best ideas.
Yeah.
For me, it had to be during Rebirth when they go back. Is it? No. It's not Rebirth, actually. This is when
Secret
Acuna,
Origin?
Secret Origin, exactly. It was Daniel Acuna, and it was the first exposure to his work also. And when they just showed Sinestro and Hal's, pretty much like training day. And, Sinestro was bringing Hal through the ropes. And just because Sinestro has always been one of my favorite heroes, ever since I got exposed to this stuff. He took everything about him, just being this guy that, becomes bad or whatever. But is he bad? No, maybe the perception's all skewed. He's been a hero to me and fucking incredible. That stuff. Oh, one other thing too, because Sinestro is so badass. I love the part during, is it Blackest Night? No, maybe Sinestro Corps. When it showed a little half splash page of all three of the human lanterns, or four. Maybe it's three of them. They're all tackling Sinestro.
But they have no power, right?
Yeah.
That's when they were just at the very end when they're all just fighting.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was just Hal that tackles them, right?
No, it was Hal, Kyle, and
I
one
thought
of
it
the
was
other
just Hal.
ones,
I thought it was just Hal.
No.
Well, it's funny because we've both mentioned Sinestro.
Yeah.
What it is so hard to take. Well, I should say it's hard. It's hard to take a crappy character and make them amazing, all right? Because it doesn't happen. Usually by now, every great Joker story's been written, but then suddenly, now you get a Death of the Family type thing. We're like, wow, no, even taking the lore, you could do something with. Sinestro is never really shined as a character, and Hal has always been kind of he's had his moments, but just not a great character. Taking something like Sinestro and turning him into this sort of shade of gray character, like you mentioned, that's so hard. You just don't see it that often.
No, dude, I totally disagree. I want to hear what the rest of what you have to say, but I mean, if you mean before 9 years ago, Sinestro was nothing, then fair play.
Yeah, no, that's what exactly taking
before 9 years ago.
Yes,
okay.
taking a character like Sinestro,
I was,
Well, Sinestro,
I was a little younger than 9 years ago,
but you know what I mean. Sinestro has had some cool scenes, and
he's had fucking a lot of cool scenes. I didn't know that you meant as of 9 years ago,
right? Taking a kind of lame villain like Sinestro, who was always potentially cool. He's he's the Bizarro, right? He's the opposite character, but actually going and doing something so much more with him, that's hard. Who else? You going, Brock?
I'm sorry, Brock.
Go for it, Bryce.
All right. Well, my moment is also involving Sinestro, more or less. I mean, my moment, which isn't a particular moment as much of a cop-out as that is, was really the idea of introducing the whole, light spectrum of rings colors. which again is not a moment, but it was sort of over several months, and I just loved it. It fucking changed my comic book reading life.
You're talking about the pillars?
No,
where we see the different pillars sitting around with the different lanterns.
Yeah, that was lame, but no, but seriously, talking about how it's such a simple idea. How did they not do it for? I mean, was it almost? It was almost 50 years. It was what I gotta say, at least 40 years.
Sinistro's always had his ring, and it's always been a yellow ring, but just no one ever took it that extra step.
Right.
Which
the closest they did was gave Guy Gardner the yellow ring.
Right.
And then to take it and to make it the full spectrum of the visible light spectrum was like, how did fucking nobody think of this?
Yeah.
And it just became such an amazing fucking part of the DC universe, in my opinion. And most of what I was talking to Brock about, this like new Guardian, just so much compelling reading from the DC universe was because of this very fucking simple idea that they just didn't think of for 40 or 50 years. It was like, holy fuck, how did this not come about? That's my part.
Well, I think for me it comes down to when Hal gives Batman the ring.
That's a great scene.
And because that's what Johns did. He took something that simple, like, wouldn't Batman have the ring?
Yeah, but what didn't that happen over like 3 pages?
It was I
might be wrong.
It was to experience. He gave him the ring, and then he experienced what the power was, and then he gave the ring back.
Yeah, no, I know, but wasn't that like 3 pages?
It was
and if that was it, then fair
it was
play.
like 2 pages, but they had a little bit on the end of one.
Oh man, and that was that's when EVS was also doing the book, right? Oh shit! I was like, that was one of the books that I bought way overpriced at a Comic-Con. Fuck you, JJ Comics, you fucking dicks, but you do hire very well at the cons. Yes. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. They own like every prime real estate.
They own like 5 booths.
Yeah, 5 booths, and they always have hot ass chicks.
They're
fucking
always at
shit.
the prime
Okay,
real
sorry, go ahead.
Hold on. Does anyone here know of this theory that Geoff Johns hates Batman?
Yeah, I know about it.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know about this theory, but you don't have to be a fucking rocket scientist to understand it.
Someone was like, "Oh yeah, it's because Geoff Johns hates Batman." I was
Isn't
like,
it in
what,
Rebirth where
are you
they
talking
fucking
about?
punk Batman very easily?
No, like
and it's the whole one punch joke, and it's like, oh, that's very clever, Johns.
I
Didn't see that
never
coming.
for a second thought Geoff Johns hated Batman, but I was going to say the whole point in that Green Lantern, it was like Hal gave the ring to Batman, and Batman's like trying to just do one simple thing, and he gets a nosebleed, and he's like, oh my god, is that what happens? And he's like, every time, like that's what it feels like every time I use the ring.
Fucking bullshit.
Well,
Green Arrow has no problem doing it.
Green Arrow had
Batman
problems.
can't handle
No,
it.
he shot his pants when he tried to shoot at.
Yeah,
No. It was in Rebirth. And
No,
Batman
it was in
couldn't handle it.
Rebirth, and Green Arrow
I'm
could
gonna
only
find it.
fire one arrow.
Yeah, Green
And
Arrow.
he was
And it
floored
didn't
afterwards.
even like do anything.
It just dissipated on him. Yeah.
Well, I think it to me it stood
Your
out
finger
as
was just on it.
it stood out as one of those moments where
REB.
Oh wow!
where Johns was.
He's a Marvel reader. You have to go slow.
What are you looking for?
I'm trying to look upside down, motherfucker.
Or sideways.
Revenge.
Anyway, to me it was
John's
Johns.
an asshole.
Here we
John-
go.
Johns was always
Don't wake the giant.
Are you talking about Charlie's penis?
Brock, continue.
I can't follow
It's a visual I don't
Charlie's
want in my
penis.
head.
No, you can't. You can't.
The scene in Batman in Rebirth is amazing.
Well, Johns did that. He had those moments where you were just like, "Thank you for giving us that moment."
Yeah.
Right, and there was a lot of them in throughout the series.
No, it was cool, and the way he does it, it's very organic. It's very creative, and it's not as cliche as how every other badass. And when they try to build up a new badass, all they do is they make him kill Wolverine or punch
Well, and
Wolverine.
it's not like it's not like it's answering the "what if Batman had the ring." It would never came across like that. It was just a natural conversation. It was a natural flow in the story. Yeah. So
I also have to love the scene in Blackest Night where the yellow ring goes to him, and he's like, "Get the hell away from me!" That's amazing.
What, the Batman?
Yeah,
Dude, they made, and that was a fucking amazing scene, and they
Yeah.
made a fucking hero clicks out of it, and it's, by the way, an amazing hero click.
Yeah, he's a little
for its
expensive,
time,
but
for its
yeah.
time, for its time.
No, he's still playable.
there was even an action figure.
Yep.
yeah.
Well, that's not surprising, but yeah, that was an amazing fucking moment. Even though it was like what, 1 page or less.
It's great. It's hilarious.
It was a fucking great page. It was awesome. I'm still trying to find this to fucking cockblock Charlie, but I'm reading a whole paperback during the podcast.
Okay, so my moment is actually going back to the Sinestro Corps War again. And pretty much just to kind of set up why this is my moment. And my moment is when they revealed the anti-monitor in that first...
that was great.
To me, that symbolizes exactly what got me about Johns' run.
Wait, it's not just Anti-Monitor.
Well,
it's
no.
Anti-Monitor,
There's
Superboy
Cyborg,
Prime,
yes.
and Cyborg Superman.
But I mean, to me,
Mind blown.
You guys gotta see how much Ryan is smiling right now talking about
That
this
page
stuff. He's
is
smiling and
that
happy
page
right
is
now.
incredible.
And the thing that got me on that is, it's not like I wasn't already excited for this Sinestro Corps War. I was already sold on this event way before that. I was already excited. So reading that and just seeing him up himself to a degree in my expectation, he blew all expectations I had for that event just out of the water in that one panel, in that one issue. Yeah. And he's done that to me time and time again, where I'm ready for the next event or I'm ready for where something's going. And he just manages to just up the stakes and up everything about it. And I absolutely, totally love him for that.
It's one of my new 52 regrets. No Superboy Prime.
Thank God.
He's so good.
Thank God.
Really? None?
I love him.
So
no, he's
far.
gone.
No, I mean, I love him too. There's none in the New 52?
Not so far.
Yeah, but he was
fail
kind of
the
he
New
was the
52.
only he was
He's
like
the one
our,
that's going to punch into the wall, and reality's going to come back together, and everything's
Yeah.
going to fix itself. And
That would be
The
good.
best is going to exist.
That's like DC's Deadpool, right?
Green Arrow is going to be really weird because he's going to see Red Arrow, and they're going to be identical twin brothers. And
This is the whole fourth wall
Is
action. No,
The Final Crisis Legion, the last time we saw him?
No, he was in Adventure Comics.
Oh,
The Blackest Night.
that's right. He got the ring for a moment.
And then he came back and he was in the Teen Titans for a
Let's
second.
finish this. Let's finish this. John's talk so we can drink some more beer.
So did you find
I think Toby needs his.
the
I was
scene?
just asking Omar. I forget fucking what I was looking for.
The green arrow being floored after firing one arrow with the ring.
I actually did find that, and you're right. I'm not sure what else I was looking for.
You were looking for Batman getting punked.
And I also
you saw
found
that.
Batman being punked. I'm still not sure what
And
I was
guys, all
looking
one
for.
punch, one punch.
Guy's a douche.
Toby, did
the
you have
writing's
your-
great. I love it all.
EV motherfucking S, man. That guy is just
Yeah.
well,
fucking.
I mean, it's
fantabulous.
all amazing writing. By the way, flipping through this, I forgot how much fucking Rebirth was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that it was amazing,
Yeah.
but going through it, here we go. Boom. Hal to Batman.
One
Oh,
punch.
did you see that one punch? Oh, very fucking clever, John.
well, this is going to be a perfect segue to me because I don't necessarily remember my favorite moment, but before Rebirth, Green Lantern was really not on my ladder. It's not a character I cared. I knew he was part of the Justice League.
Not on many.
Well, that's okay. He was on mine.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is the way I looked at him. It's one of Charlie's favorites, but
And
for
I
me,
liked Kyle, and I was never a big Hal fan.
Yeah.
So that's
I'm exactly on the same boat, and Charlie was so excited when Rebirth came out. I mean, unbelievably excited. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna read it too. And I was
I've still
holy
never
shit.
forgiven Ryan for not pulling that for me. I had to come in, pulling off the shelf after I reminded him half a dozen times, make sure you pull this book for me.
Yeah, well, let's just say it made me a believer, and I was totally floored when I read that book. And it's one of my favorite books to this date. So yeah,
Well, I think also
it's
people,
the end of an era.
Yeah.
I think people also forget that Johns didn't just do the Green Lantern stuff. I mean, he established the world. I mean, the reading over those Tales of the Corps from the Black.
Well, let's just say
the
without
Blackest Night series.
Johns, there would not be a horrible Green Lantern movie. Without Johns, there would not be an awesome Green Lantern cartoon at this point. You know? So it's all because of this Johns' amazing run that they even thought about putting Green Lantern on the map.
Agreed. But not only Johns, because Johns, what he did was he pretty much went back and really studied and researched everything, because there's a lot of fantastic tales that were based on things like Tales of the Corps with Alan Moore, a lot of things that were done during the whole Neil Adams run. All those things, he pretty much looked at it and saw it, and he fucking
that's what made Rebirth so freaking awesome, because he touched them on everything.
Modernized it,
anything that people had questions about or were questioning. He was like, "Fuck it, I'll answer you."
Yeah, for sure.
not afraid of continuity. Well, Green Lantern number 20 is out May, so that's the last
Here's
issue.
our toast
so
to
we
Geoff Johns.
toasting?
Yeah.
Toast to GL.
GL number 20.
Cheers.
Thanks, GJ.
Yeah.
There you go.
You just drank beer. Yes.
I've had beer before.
This is good beer, though. This is
Usually-
like an award-winning beer.
Usually I have like piss beer.
Firestone Wookie Jack. Yeah, buddy.
We don't fuck about.
All right. We got a
So
handful of other things.
Are you gonna put taps in here?
Maybe.
Woo!
We got a handful.
Omar and Bryce will be here way more frequently.
We got a handful of other things to talk about. Green Lantern and Geoff Johns on Green Lantern is not the only thing going away. There's a handful of other books being canceled by DC. Most of them, whatever. But
Hey.
a couple,
Hey.
I'm
Watch it.
really sad about.
My Team 7.
No, I was going to say Deathstroke, which they destroyed under one of the many Rob Liefeld explosions that killed the title. But it came back really good. The new book.
Fucking blame Deathstroke's demise on Rob Liefeld.
No, that's exactly. The first 8 issues were good, despite what some people say. They
Book
were.
was going down eventually. Don't fucking blame it on Rob
He,
Liefeld.
he made it go down faster.
That's
But the
fucking
new book
bullshit.
is good. The last few issues are really solid. Firestorm, Nuclear Man, which had just started to get kind of better, but then they kind of got worse again. So that I love Firestorm, but I'm not.
I don't think it got worse again.
The last handful?
Yeah, I've liked it.
I liked where they were going before, but whatever. Ravagers, and no surprise, I like it, but whatever. I'm not too worried about that.
Well, they should have just done it right and done it Gen 13.
Just call it
book.
Gen 13.
Yeah, fuck it. Get all these weird people out of there and make it actually Gen 13.
Yeah.
book.
Well,
It would have been fine then, too.
see, honestly, that's one of the reasons I'm okay with it going away. Is once you free up characters, they can move to other stuff, and
Yeah, bring over Gen 13.
Cancel those titles.
yeah,
We're done talking about Johns. Charlie.
Savage Hawkman's ending, no surprise. Big
He
whoop.
just gave you an evil look, dude. I would get out of here really fast after the podcast.
That's the STFU look from Charlie that
Yeah.
I
You
got
know,
earlier before the
All he needs to
podcast
do is
started.
step on people.
No, Charlie's too smart to just use his.
Gentle Giant.
Yeah.
Savage Hawkman's ending, but whatever. The book's terrible. It's gonna be. He's
Nobody
gonna be.
cares.
He's gonna be in Greenland or in Justice League America with Geoff Johns. So
which
that's fine.
surprises me a little that they're canceling it right before the JLA book.
Because I'm
comes
sure
out.
they're just going to totally revamp the character.
Yeah.
Sword of Sorcery, which just launched, which is kind of unfortunate because I know some people like the Amethyst story in that. And then Team
the
7.
backup?
The backup, the
Yeah.
Beowulf backup, that
Yeah.
is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm hoping. They're canceling that title and just
And
making
make
it
it Beowulf.
Beowulf.
I didn't know that
with
Beowulf.
Sword and Sorcery as the backup.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that Beowulf was even a DC license. Like, that's cool as fuck to have that.
It's just one of
Well,
their various characters.
I'm guessing Beowulf and stuff is probably public domain.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean,
The story's old enough.
Yeah, the story's old enough, and they've done.
Yeah, I wanna
they-
see
they
a
changed
DC
it just
Thor.
enough. So
Who?
I want to see a DC4.
Yeah.
And much to Toby's demise, just dismay.
this,
Much to Toby's dismay, the demise of Team 7, which I've liked. I've liked this Team 7 book, so I'm sad to see that go.
yeah, once it hit that Black Diamond probability, it got a lot better.
Yeah. We also lost...
See, as long as Jim Lee is around, I know that the Wildstorm stuff will keep coming somewhere
Oh, yeah.
somehow.
Yeah. Already announced was DC Universe Presents I, Vampire, Across the Country, and Superman Family Adventure. So DC has a lot of new books that need to come out.
Well, the Superman Family Adventure may be going away, but they're launching their own comic line, the team that was doing that.
Yeah. Art Baltazar and Franco have a Kickstarter for All Yeah Comics. It's their...
Which has already hit its goals.
It's way over its goal.
Our friend Jordan Fegley, I think, was
So-
donating already.
If you like their
Nice.
kids' books, and they're going to be doing some more work for DC. They're doing that Green Team book, so they're still involved in the DC titles.
Captain Planet?
Um,
You got my
funny.
ears now.
but a couple months ago, a month ago maybe, Rob Liefeld had tweeted something about, there's a bunch of new DC books that are going to be coming up, including.
Why did he tweet? Isn't he done?
But he still knows people who know people. So, like Brave and the Bold, a new take on DC Universe Presents, Superman, Batman.
And Power Girl's finally come back.
So there's a lot
same
of
title.
Well, the
rumored.
twins
There's a lot of rumored titles that'll be taken over soon. And just to keep this all mostly DC podcast going, yes, Power Girl, much to
Boo.
No, you meant to say boob.
yeah,
Boobs.
much,
Boob.
Boobs are back.
boobies. The best word, the
Back
best,
up
No
front.
boo about boobs, but there's boo about.
the best news that Omar has heard all week. Power Girl returns to her classic look, which means we're getting a return of the a little see-through front.
It's
power
not even
cleavage.
so much that. Let's be honest here, okay?
It's a fantastic costume.
It's a fantastic cosplay, and there is no one that I've seen even attempt to try to do the new PG look. Because guess what? Who designed that one? I think Levitz was a part of it.
Okay,
it sucked ass.
So there
That was
are
Perez, isn't it?
there have been
Levitz and Perez, I think, were a part
about
of it.
every decade since the 70s, DC has said, this Power Girl costume, we kind of need to change that. They try to change it. It's a phenomenon.
Miserably. You can't change something that
they-
must not be changed.
They just bring it back every time. This is like the 5th time they've tried. You just don't mess with the classics, guys. It's just this is it.
Well, I'm ready for Electric Superman to come back, be all blue and shit.
I'm looking.
man.
I'm looking at. I'm looking
half
at.
of him.
Yeah,
at
and then we
two-
could have the red one come back too.
Looking at 2 busts of Power Girl,
And he's really looking at their
and
bust.
I'm really
Brock
looking
is
at their
looking
busts.
at Power Girl's bust.
But do people really care that it's a red belt or a blue belt?
I actually just noticed that.
Yeah, I
two
didn't
different colored
notice
belts.
either. Yeah,
I'm like,
no,
is the belt or is
Didn't
your
notice.
eyes just drawn all the way
You're
up?
the only one looking at the
It's,
belts.
it's gone straight to her eyes because Amanda Connor draws the best eyes in Power Girl. Thank you.
So
I'd love to
you're
see-
going with the red belt.
If it's Power Girl, it's always Amanda Connor.
Right?
Yeah.
I'd love to see Connor do some more Power Girl stuff.
Yes,
That'd be great.
absolutely.
If anyone's going to take over on World's Finest for
Dude, if Amanda Connor is doing it, holy shit, man.
no, that'd be fantastic.
Or Gilliam March.
I'd be
Wow.
back on
Gilliam
single
March, he
issues.
did a lot of the variant covers for Power Girl back in the day. That's how I found
Yeah.
out about him, actually.
To keep this to make this not an entirely DC episode, we do
Yeah,
have one
fucking
Marvel thing
hell,
worth
Ryan.
talking about.
Yeah.
One Marvel thing worth talking about.
God damn.
And I'm
Bryce,
looking.
Bryce was so happy before when he came in here, thinking
You
that he
had
was
to
going to get
dig
a lot
for
of
this,
airplay on Avengers and everything. And then
No,
he's like,
no, I don't even want
As
airplay.
it goes further and further down, you're like, wait a minute, I'm not getting my play.
Hold on.
Let Ryan talk, guys. Unbelievable.
So we've all been kind of down on. Well, I've been kind of down on Avengers. Brock, I know, has.
I'm done.
But Omar, you and Bryce have really liked
Bryce.
Avengers.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
I said Omar, you and Bryce.
Good that you know
for
you're
different
right.
reasons. For
Right.
different reasons.
No, we talked about number 4 briefly, which I thought was worst issue. I thought 4 was
Oh,
horrible.
the worst issue of all 4. Oh,
It was
my
bad.
God.
It was a bad issue.
God, the worst of 4.
However,
oh my God,
It was a Hyperion issue. What's
oh
his
my
face? He
God, the
called
worst
in.
of 4. That is just
Well, it is
Hyperion.
I-
I
Well,
think
considering he wasn't a big fan of 1 through 3,
Yeah.
that kind
No,
of
hey, that's fucking incorrect. He fucking liked 1 through 3, and
No.
don't fucking
no,
change
no,
it right
he
now.
didn't.
Avengers?
No,
he
he
did
didn't.
not like number 1 at all.
New Avengers has been fantastic.
Okay.
Well,
Let
okay,
me
hold
just
on.
recreate history in my own image, okay?
Hold on. Let's do Avengers, and we're going to talk about New Avengers really briefly. Avengers 1, 2, 3 were pretty terrible. 4 was
Dude,
bad.
that's fucking incorrect, though.
4 was bad.
You 1 and 2, you didn't like the build-up. 3 was a great fight scene. You didn't like it. That's fucking your bad, bro.
Ex Nihilo is terrible. The art was no good.
I don't have a problem with Ex Nihilo.
You're
The film
wrong.
was bad. Okay,
I love how
4
you guys are both facing each other on opposite ends of the table.
Okay,
I'm
4
about to fucking jump over this table.
4 was a
Can I
one shot.
get the camera ready.
4 was a one shot story about Hyperion.
Yeah, it sucked.
By who the hell did the art? I can't
Adam
remember his name.
Kubert.
Adam
It was
Kubert.
Who
really,
the hell did the
it
art?
was really rough.
Well, hold on. That's what I'm saying. Adam Kubert's a great artist. I don't know what happened here.
Probably the inker was shitty.
I don't know. He phoned
yeah,
this
yeah.
in, or I don't know what happened
He
here.
just recently lost his dad.
I'm sorry?
No, issue 5. Well, the issue 5 is the backup. It's the origin story of this whoever cares one
Smasher.
character named Smasher.
It was good.
Fucking pretend like you don't know who it is, Ryan.
I have
That's
no idea
fucking
who
bullshit.
Smasher is. Hold
you
on.
know exactly who it is.
No idea who Smasher is. This is a brand new character.
Well, no, but the,
What?
but the
Did you-
Smasher, like, it's a part of the
she's-
Imperial Guard.
Yeah,
Like, you know that.
Did you read
No,
any of
I've-
War of Kings or Realm of Kings?
I have no idea who Smasher is.
Okay.
Are you fucking kidding? You own a fucking comic book shop. You don't know who it is?
No.
Ooh.
She's apparently the
Why
daughter
don't
of
you,
Dan
why
Dare.
don't you explain who the
Hold
Smasher
on.
is for the rest of us?
If they were in War Kings, I'd totally forget. If this is a named character. But hold on. So who the hell is this character? And same crappy art by
Adam
by
Kubert.
by Adam Kubert.
By the way, he's kind of famous. He fucking like wrote X-Men in his prime.
Can I finish?
Yeah. No, because you're fucking being totally disingenuous to the whole comic book industry.
He's getting ready to say he liked it.
But
No.
then I read it.
Oh, okay.
And it was
Now you're just doing this to be an asshole to me.
Yeah, that's what you did. That's what you did.
and it was
got
really
you.
good. I don't know, Kubert. Maybe
Unbelievable.
if Kubert just had more time on this issue, the art was way better.
Yeah.
The Smasher chick,
It's more
she's
refined.
super cool. Like, it was a good issue. I don't know what happened those first 4. They were just not doing it for me. This was a good issue. Continue this. I enjoyed that. Now, New Avengers. I've loved New Avengers so far. But, and we're going to talk spoilers here from the most recent issue of New Avengers.
I'm ready for fucking spoilers.
Everyone read it?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I like them Zatanna-ing Captain America back to being bad guys, back to the Bendis Illuminati. I thought we've been through this. I thought we got over this.
No.
Yeah.
So this is your and Brock's fucking argument.
I like it. It was good.
I can't even say
But
this
we've
is your and Brock's
been
argument
there.
because Brock is always anti-Marvel, so I have to almost only address you.
I'm not
But
always anti-Marvel. Thor's good. I like Indestructible Hulk.
yeah, okay, Brock.
I like that one Marvel book.
Yeah,
I like that one Marvel book out of all the shit.
yeah, okay, Brock. So it's interesting that both Ryan and Brock think. Oh, I don't know if you guys follow him or follow the two of them on Twitter. Both of their arguments is, Avengers and New Avengers. Nothing's happening, therefore I'm not really that engaged in Avengers. By the way, nothing has happened in New Avengers, but it's still a fucking amazing book.
It is a good book.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
saying
but
it's not.
nothing has happened until this last issue, and both of you are
the
fucking haters.
Well, no, I'm saying the shit hits the fan in this issue, and it was a good issue. My only concern is I don't know if I want to go back to the Illuminati being villains, and we've already got over this Illuminati thing. We're just back in the same position Bendis
Right.
had these guys 5 years ago.
Sure, but
But I
your
thought we had
argument-
moved on from it already.
The only input that you had on Twitter, Ryan, was, these Illuminati, they're villains, therefore we've been there before, or sorry.
we have.
We've been there for, therefore, this is the fucking only input I have on this book, and it's pretty much bullshit.
I said it's a good book, but I just don't know if I like that aspect of it. It was a really good issue, regardless of anything else.
Me paraphrasing your comments on Twitter was basically, oh God, I really wish I could like this awful book that is the exact replication of what happened under Bendis. Therefore, it is not possibly a good book now. That's basically what the fuck you said.
I don't think it's.
I'm not
any of you-
saying that it's any better because there has not been a lot of action.
Ryan's cracking up right now.
It has been fucking, in my opinion, a good book. Not a fucking great book because, to be totally transparent, not a lot has happened. I think
Black
that there's
Panther has
a lot,
happened though, right? Black Panther is like the lead character of the
not a
book
lot has
to a lot
happened.
of to a
Fucking
major extent.
Captain America wielding the gauntlet, moving the Earth. That's awesome. Did it take fucking 3 or 4 issues to happen? Yes. Does that qualify
it
as an
didn't.
awful book to Brock?
No,
Yes.
no, it didn't. It took one issue. It was in the. It was that issue. It was issue 3. That's only the 3rd issue. They've had the first one,
Right.
Black Panther.
Right, but that was enough for Brock to fucking vilify it. Which,
Brock
you know,
probably didn't even read it.
No, I read it.
Brock fucking vilifying an Avengers or a
he
Marvel
just didn't
book.
buy it.
No, I
didn't
read,
buy it exactly.
Probably-
I read 3. It's just, to me, it was the first issue didn't really do it for me. The second issue got a little bit better, but like Ryan said, I don't care with this Illuminati thing that they're going through because we've already kind of been there. We've done this already.
That's fair. To anybody
This
following
is the same
Brock,
argument, just going back and forth. I'm saying this. I'm
Okay.
saying this. I'm
to
saying
anybody
that.
following Brock on Twitter, any Marvel book by issue 3, it says something, something, something.
I'm done with it. Yeah.
I got fucking Brock has fucking no tolerance for Marvel books.
Number
Brock,
3. I'm done.
Brock has a partial sentence with regards to any Marvel book, and then it says "I'm done," and that's Brock's input to Marvel.
Twitter only
by the way,
allows you
that's
so
his
many
review.
characters.
That was a good one.
That's his.
Twitter only allows you so many characters.
Anyway, that's Brock's review, fair and balanced as it is. Not a lot happened until this last issue. Finally, something happened. I've been hanging out the whole time.
3
Brock has
issues.
not. Yeah, but it's been, fucking 4 months. Don't pretend like that's not a long time for a fucking adult.
It's only been 3 months. It's,
Yeah.
No,
And
3 issues, it's only been a month and a half.
Charlie was going to say something. Go ahead, Charlie.
So, to me, while I agree with you that it very much echoes Identity Crisis, because how can you not do the comparison there? I do think, to a degree, the previous Illuminati stuff seemed to be more of their decisions coming back to bite them. Like, it's more like they decided unilaterally, we're going to go in this direction, we're going to grab the Infinity Stones, we're going to go drive off the Shi'ar, no, not the Shi'ar, the Kree and the Skrull. Like, a lot of what happened there was them trying to hide the fact that they were bringing all this shit on themselves by launching the Hulk into space, by preemptively going to do that. Like, all these sort of unilateral decisions that they were making without a direct threat going on. It was all about being proactive, and it all came back to bite them in the ass. This I actually consider a more compelling read because it's not a hypothetical, this is how bad shit can go if we don't get proactive. This is a shit is getting bad. How far are we willing to take it to save the world? And that was sort of the point of this issue, was pretty much saying, well, Cap's not going to let us cross certain lines. So he did kind of have to be removed from the group. And I like comics that sort of question, at what point do you stop being a good guy and start being a bad guy for good reasons?
Totally.
So New Avengers is going to become Illuminati or Thunderbolts?
Okay, that's a joke for those of you listening that don't understand Brock's humor. Anyway, love it, Charlie. Thank you.
It was good. I just don't know if I like that, but I'm fine with it. Okay. My reason for bringing up Avengers and New Avengers, I didn't even go on that long about it, is because we got an announcement of what Marvel's going to be releasing for their Free Comic Book Day this year. Now, I'm super disappointed in DC. DC has always had some pretty cool Free Comic Book Day books. This year, it's just some preview book. It's just previews of upcoming stuff.
Well, that's because they popped the Trinity War thing too early.
Right. So it's like stuff that's already there. So it's not anything original. Marvel's original is pretty big. The last few years, Marvel has had shitty Free Comic Book Day books. They've been totally throwaway, disposable stories that haven't been part of anything. They've just been these little one-shot stories, which are nice, but it's like...
Didn't they pop the whole Ultron event in Free Comic Book Day?
3 years ago. Yeah, the Ultron...
Both publishers have a trouble popping the...
Yeah, the
This won't change Ryan or Brock's opinion on Marvel versus DC, but go ahead, Ryan.
This got me to bump my orders to the second highest I've ever ordered for a Free Comic Book Day. First being a DC book. It's Infinity, which is a one shot by what the heck is it? By
Jim Chung.
Oh my god, no, Jonathan Hickman and Jim Chung is doing the art.
I said Jim Chung.
Yes, you did. Yes.
I'm wrong.
No, I didn't say you were.
Oh, by the way, someone said Jim Chung. Don't high five Cho, motherfuckers.
Oh yeah. Fucking Happy Chinese New Year is what he meant to say.
Exactly.
So it is Infinity. It's all the kind of little space guys and the New Avengers and all the people kind of being smashed
Free
with
Comic Book Day?
with Thanos' face on the other side of it. So
through the broken shards, I didn't know that was Free Comic Book Day.
The start of the Nova, Thanos,
Holy
Guardians,
shit.
Avengers, the big summer post.
Dude, I seen that picture. I didn't know that was for Free Comic Book Day. That
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm
This is the-
excited
By the way,
for that.
who is Thanos' dentist? That's what I want to fucking know. Is that guy has immaculate dental work going on?
Well, Marvel's going straight from Age of Ultron to this big Thanos.
You know,
thing.
this is actually pretty
just skip
brilliant.
the Age of Ultron. Just go straight to Thanos.
Yeah.
This is really
First of all,
brilliant.
that.
Though. Yeah, I mean,
fuck Ultron.
this
Hey,
is brilliant
yeah,
because you got all these kids that maybe don't read comics saw Thanos at the end of Avengers. Now they're gonna see this on the Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah.
Hey, mom,
Exactly.
it's that crazy dude at the end of Avengers.
Yeah.
This is brilliant.
He's the Purple
freaking
Skrull.
marketing. Yeah,
It's the guy that turned around.
So I'm
That's
it's brilliant marketing.
We've been a little Thanos light for the last handful of years, so I'm glad to see that he's coming back.
Good
so that
Thanos
should
light.
be good. Yeah. Well, Thanos has had some shitty stuff happen. Like Infinity Gauntlet was good. Infinity War was still pretty good. I'll defend that.
See, the Marvel state's is starting.
Crusade.
Right?
Infinity
his
Crusade.
stuff in Annihilation before they did the Thanos Imperative was good.
Well, Infinity Crusade, which was like 96 maybe, through about,
We don't talk about
2004?
that was 90s. Ryan, stop talking.
Those are all bad. And then it got good.
Ryan.
And then it got good during Thanos Imperative and,
Yeah,
and
that was
all
not
the
the 90s.
Annihilation stuff.
Yeah.
And then he kind of disappeared for a while. So
And
glad
then
to
they
see
came
Thanos
back
coming
in Avengers Assemble.
We'll just
that
not.
first arc. And,
We'll just pretend that was.
As I said, that's why we're back to good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm willing to say we're going to get good Thanos stuff, and then I can be proven wrong. But I'm optimistic.
Dude, how fucking awesome. New Avengers, for those of you that actually read it.
I read it.
With
Jeez.
when
just
they
didn't
assembled
buy
the
it.
Infinity Gauntlet,
Yeah.
and Galactus is like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
and just fucking turns around and is like
the
half
sa- it's the
smiling.
same
How fucking
shot.
awesome were those 3 mini panels?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Fucking awesome.
Watch our Galactus and Thanos, but that shot of
That's right.
Yeah, that
The
shot of
moon Boring Watcher.
That shot of
boring.
Uatu.
That shot of Thanos was the same shot from the movie.
I know. I saw that too. I saw the Watcher. I was like, you're a shitty hero click. And Galactus, it was like, that's kind of cool. And then Thanos. By the way, you can repeat that look from the movie as many times as you want. That's a fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
It should be like one of those fucking
gangster.
gifs, right? Just like
yeah. You can fucking prescribe
somebody on the forum is going to have that by tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's not already there.
Yeah,
Isn't it like the dramatic chipmunk or something? Dun dun dun.
Yeah. Any number of commentary. Omar says, "What's up, motherfucker?" Will be the fucking meme for that.
All right. We didn't get to questions this week.
Get to some Marvel questions so that you can make this approximately 50-50, Ryan.
Episode's over. We're done.
What?
wow.
That's fucking bullshit.
You know what happened there? No. You know what happened there, right? He looked at the screen and was like, "This is all Marvel questions." Oh, it's over.
delete it from history.
The podcast is over.
You just fucking Johns to this podcast, Ryan.
All right. Well, hold on. I'll open it up. We'll see if I got any emails.
I'll actually open up my email.
I love that you called him out on that shit too.
Yeah.
No, it was. It was open. It was open.
Open up my email. Oh, maybe there's. Oh my god.
No.
There's a fucking ton of.
Fucking Marvel. Oh, I'm blind.
All the email I got in the last day, I got like 3 or 4 emails, and it was all about Geoff Johns.
All right, well, let's talk about all new X-Men. Brock shockingly hates all new X-Men. He said, "I'm trying to remember what he said. I think it involved I'm done."
Hold on.
I liked All New X-Men. I like that book.
Oh, Charlie liked All New X-Men. By the way, All New X-Men, not a lot happens every book, but it's just like
it's like every Bendis book.
Ultimate Spider-Man, where it's fucking the plotting is great. And that enough happens every episode where it's like the fucking story. It's a great read.
This is what I've been saying.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So
Ryan.
long about Bendis is that I never hate his stuff. I just never love it. But it's been good. It's been a decent book. I like it.
I love the issue with Jean Grey finding out about everything. That was awesome.
And as much as Brock loves to hate on the AR. That AR where she discovers everything, and if you ever AR,
I didn't AR it, but tell me about this AR thing.
Well, I actually
Jean Grey shows I'm naked.
It's like whoa,
not 100% true. So the AR stuff, while I almost never read it, I saw the retweet from Bendis saying like you should probably fucking actually AR this shit, and it was a great breakdown of the whole double page spread that Immonen drew of Jean Grey's history, and it was just the list of everything she's done. X-Men 100, this happens.
So
X-Men
AR
200.
is technically the long list of all the asterisks they'd have to put on that page to show you what each thing was issue.
Do you know what my favorite scene with Jean Grey is, Ben? In the new young Back from the Past Jean Grey?
When she's fucking shocked in the last issue about how she gets the invitation from young Cyclops, because that was fucking awesome.
No.
Oh.
When Quentin Quire's macking on her in Wolverine and the X-Men.
That was awesome.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
That was a great issue.
That was written by Jason Aaron. Fucking Ryan loves Irreverent Teenagers and Jason Aaron.
That whole like hookup issue of Wolverine and the X-Men.
He loves Ecstatics. So he loves New Warriors. He loves Superboy Prime or whatever the fuck.
Kitty and Iceman on a date.
He loves Damian Wayne.
Tell me you didn't love that.
I loved it, but I'm a fucking Marvel apologist, Ryan. Look, I loved Quentin Quire and Marvel Girl. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that was great.
Legit, that was pretty
Okay, hold on. We got 2 questions here that I'm going to read real quick because we can answer these fast. One is from TPBJ on Twitter. He asks, how long does it usually take for a book to come back into print? He's been looking for the Wonder Woman Hikatea trade to no avail.
Well, that's 2 different questions. If you're looking for Wonder Woman to come back into print, that's a fucking lost cause.
Next question.
That's one of the best stories, though, isn't it?
Yeah. The sad thing is, generally, once they're gone, they're gone. They don't come back into print. The only time books like that will come back into print is if they do like some new collection 20 years later. Yeah. It's so...
Or if they actually make the Wonder Woman TV show or movie.
Sure.
Never happened, by the way.
Yeah. Marvel and DC have taken so many books out of print these days. It's ridiculous. So don't... this is the retailer telling you.
You got to go to Bryce Way to start finding them all.
It's OOP. Hikatea was only released as a graphic novel.
Was the original.
Yeah.
It's not. It won't stop us from binding.
Yes,
it won't. It won't come back into print anytime soon. I hate to tell you. It's just not going to happen.
TPBJ, just whenever you're like traveling, go into those comic shops, look up your comic shops, do a little hunting. you may find the stuff in the clearance bins.
All the time.
Yeah.
Someone pulls some dusty old trade off my shelf and buys it, and then after they leave the store, I look it up on eBay, and I'm like, oh, you son of a bitch, it's been out of print for like 5 years. It was like $100 book. Damn it. Oh, well.
Well, actually, if you
use
ever go to
bookstores.
conventions, just look for a really, 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 really tall man and follow him around. He usually goes to really, really good trade and hardcover places. And just like follow him. You don't even have to say hello. Just like once he leaves, then look at what he left behind. So
He's probably carrying like 7 bags.
yeah, I mean after he leaves, usually all the hardcovers are gone, but you have a really good shot at trades though.
All right. We got one more here from DC Fox. He asks,
True, you usually get the hardcovers.
He asks, 3 issues in, how have sales of Superior Spider-Man been compared to Amazing Spider-Man? It's a couple of retailer questions.
Come on,
to
come on,
quote
say
comic-
superior. Come on, say it.
Yeah,
It has been slightly superior. So, Spider-Man has actually never, for us personally, has never been a good selling title. Amazing Spider-Man, it'll pick up during big anniversary books or stuff like that, but it's a real mid-level seller for us. It always has been.
It's always up and down because like it depends on the story arc.
Oh, it's always been mid-tier. I mean, clearly, the Superior Spider-Man #1. We just got the sales info for for February, so it was the #1 book of the month. So that's January. I'm sorry, it was the #1 book of the month. So that's not too surprising because Marvel put so much behind it. And issue 700 sold fantastic. Issue 700 we sold, like almost 100 copies of, which is really good for a book like that for us.
Times like 3x the cost of a normal book.
Yeah, and that's the thing. At an $8 title, that's
Right.
pretty good.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, and then Superior
But
Spider-Man.
what do you think Green Lantern will do?
I mean, that's probably match it.
64-page book.
It'll probably
How much
match
is
it.
that going to be?
It's $8.99.
Well, $8.99
Get the
for the
fuck
digital,
out.
$7.99
Oh,
for
it's
the.
it's just $7.99 for the regular. Okay,
Yeah, if I recall right.
yeah,
$7.99.
yeah. That's the same price the Amazing Spidey was.
Oh, the romance book.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and that's
Valentine's.
and it's 64 page too. So
don't
yeah,
forget
That's a
all
good
those
Wonder Woman
amazing
ass shot on
backup
the cover,
stories
though.
from Amazing Spider-Man.
Well, that was one of the things that I'm
Terrible.
very curious about the Green Lantern 20 is I don't know how much of that is new story
Exactly.
content.
Yeah.
they said there's
Because
like a retrospective.
exactly, they're supposed to basically do a retrospective of the Johns run in the back of it. So it's not going to be backup stories. It's going to be
A giant.
It'll probably be 48
And-
pages
It's gonna be like a encyclopedia
It'll probably
at
be
the
the
end.
exact same.
with 24.
yeah.
It'll be
But-
an entry in the book.
I also got the impression that the art was going to sort of switch around a fair amount to various people that he worked with during the run, because I know Mackey's doing some of it. I know Van Sciver was listed in there.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
So, yeah, it should be sort of the ultimate wrap-up to his run,
Yeah.
the way they're soliciting it.
Now, do you think all of this was planned and they just finally announced it to the world? Or do you think this was a pretty like hasty last-minute decision where it's like, okay, maybe that's the time to pull off. I'll go and just announce it tomorrow.
Well, there had been some rumor, and I know we talked a little bit about this before the podcast, and Omar brought it up. He said a lot of Justice League in this little going away thing.
Yes.
DC really needs that Justice League movie badly.
Yeah.
Yes. They also need the Justice League comic book line and it's tying in books to do well.
But are we getting the point now where Johns is now finally... I mean, because he's always been part of this,
Yes.
but it seems like it hasn't
Is he-
happened much. I don't know, at least publicly.
Is he going to be the Josh Whedon at the DC Entertainment?
He'll be the
movie
Bendis.
TV?
He'll be the Bendis.
Oh, I was thinking more to Josh Whedon as in taking over the whole movieverse, TV shows, and all of that stuff.
He'll be the Bendis Quesada head of... This is a guess.
Yeah.
Put him into the movie because he's already there as like chief creative consultant or chief creative officer, and being like, "Hey, you are now running the movie universe.
Because
we
they
still want
fucked
you to
up
do
too
our
many
books."
times. And that's why it's really shitty, because like the Green Lantern movie in itself, like I wanted to like it. I love Green Lantern so much. I love John so much. I almost thought I tricked myself into thinking that I loved the movie.
It's not tricking, man. It's a great movie.
It is a fucking great movie.
Ryan just likes
And my
naked,
homie Trey was like, "Come on, Omar, just admit it's a bad movie." I'm like, "It's a
Ryan
shitty
likes
movie."
naked,
I agree.
naked Ryan Reynolds running around in this
Hey, who
bodysuit.
doesn't like Naked Ryan Reynolds?
Okay.
Well, hold on. So, Superior. Before we get back on this for 1 second, Superior Spider-Man. For us, sales in number 1 were really good. Sales in number 2 were pretty strong. Sales in number 3, we're already starting to see the slip a little bit, but we're still.
I was wondering why Ryan would go back to Marvel
Number 2
hair.
is still superior.
We're still up 30% over what it was selling prior.
Can I just add,
that's
superior.
So that's
Can I add a personal little story here with Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Because we just recently had a Spider-Man Hero Click set, which is fucking incredible.
An amazing set.
I think it's probably one of our most successful releases that we've ever had here at the shop. We've been averaging about 20 players like the last month, and we went through 20 cases, pretty close.
Close to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. 20 bricks.
Oh, 20 bricks. I mean, 20 bricks, not cases. 20 bricks, which is
still
very comparable to a lot of game shops, and actually over that. Anyways, the majority of people that I have come in, I'm like, listen, do you know what's going on with Spider-Man right now? I was like, fuck, I really wanted a superior Spider-Man.
It's
what are you talking about?
Mary Jane.
Yes. And I was like, dude, we didn't get it. We got End of the World, sure. Yeah, End of Earth's whatever. But I would make everyone that is interested when I tell them this story, read that book. A lot of people have been picking up the 697, 698, 699, and 700 who are non-really comic guys. They're like more gamers. So I definitely think that, Slott, give him props because, he did what everyone thought, and I'm a part of that. Spider-Man was not going to be relevant, and he is now. Sure, it's Doc Ock, and it's him being a pervy fucking creeper, but I love him as a pervy creeper, because that's what Spider-Man should be.
Dude, you're right, though. Right. He turned sales on its head.
Yeah.
How much was Spider-Man doing sales-wise, a couple of years ago versus how much is it doing, the past year?
He pretty much said, there's no more kids reading this book, it's all adults. Boom!
Dude, seriously.
I mean, the last few issues, it's been way up, but that will drift down. It always does.
Yeah, but
see, the problem
from before,
Charlie, tell me.
The past year, Spider-Man versus how it was a year or two ago.
No, because you had the 698, 699, 700. And number 1, huge bump. I'm just saying, big bumps.
Okay, you're gonna find
Slott killed it. I gotta admit it.
I will say this. There are definitely certain panels or certain pages reading that book that make you feel a little dirty.
I think the one you're talking about is where Peter tells him, I really wish you stopped touching my body.
My body.
Of course, that's after
See how everything just got quiet there, Brock? See how everything just got quiet
I wasn't even thinking about that. I was thinking about...
the panel before that.
I was thinking about when he didn't get any from fucking MJ on his 4th fail date night, and he's all, wait a minute, I have all of his memories. Peter's all, no! And then he did all his memories. He's all like, getting jiggy, and it's like, he even had like the fucking, his bowl cut and his glasses getting all fogged up, and then he's like, oh, I should break up with her. There's so much more out there.
Wow. I missed that issue.
Really?
Yes, you
incredible.
evidently did. Because
so
you
good.
evidently don't feel dirty enough.
So good.
Yeah, dude, Omar, you guys should have seen the gyrations.
Yeah.
Omar just made me feel a little hot and steamy in my glasses and bowl cut.
Keep drinking.
All right, we're gonna end this episode. We got some more. We got some questions done, so we're good. Okay. Thank you everyone for listening. We'll be back next week with more episodes. Toby, what's your ETA? You think it'll be a little while still?
Yes. So
we'll have you back on soon.
I'm on episode 7 or 8 out of possible 10, possible 12 episodes.
You're working on those comedy button videos.
Yes.
So you're almost done.
We're going to have great episodes such as Ryan Flies, and great episodes as Ryan's T-shirt story part 1 and part 2, The Demon, what else? The Gondola. This is as exciting as it gets.
Yeah, I like the Great America. I like the Great America one. That was fun.
Did you say that Ryan is Fly?
Ryan Flies, and that's the other Ryan. That's, Ryan Scott flies.
Not as exciting.
He goes flying in one of the episodes. It's going to be pretty
I'd
good.
see Ryan Higgins fly.
The Demon episode is going to be rather good. There's quite a bit there going on. So yeah,
a little preview for all your comedy button fans.
Yes. So I'll disappear after this podcast for a while again, and I'll come back when I can.
Hopefully, it's not at the death of another beloved book.
Yes. I had to come in and show my support.
Scott Snyder off of Batman?
I have to show my support to Ryan and Charlie. Gotta help the brothers out.
Bryce. That's fucking.
You don't seem broken up enough.
If they start killing every single Marvel book, I'll be here for you, man.
They cancel every Marvel book every other week.
No,
when
they kill. When they kill,
Hey,
Marvel's done.
In the fucking light of what DC's been up to recently, that's fucking bullshit.
Marvel just renumbers them. DC actually cancels them outright. So
hey, fucking talk shit about that.
But yes, Comedy Button episode starting March 1st. possibly, we're talking weekly episode release, so there's going to be about 10, maybe 12 episodes.
Sweet.
And when they're done, I got to go back and work and possibly on something else, and then I'll go back and finish all the Sue stuff. So there's a lot coming.
Sweet. Looking forward to those.
Yeah.
Liked what I've seen so far. If you want to re-listen to this episode or get any of our other episodes or comment or go on our forums, all this stuff, www.geekbox.net, you can go there. We all have other random other stuff we do. Brock's blog, conspiratobrock.com. Omar is at Comics and Kind. Toby's doing those comedy button videos. Look for those March 1st.
Max's Succubi episode is pretty good, too.
Ooh.
I just want to put it out there, so...
Charlie's on the Infinite Longbox. InfiniteLongbox.com, I believe, actually goes to the right thing. Forums at geekbox.net. You can go talk to all of us there. That's lovely, wonderful stuff. Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz. You can go on there and buy some digital comics, including, I'm going to assume they're going to have the all Green Lantern Geoff Johns sale coming up soon.
Yeah,
probably 99 cents an issue, so go look for
a
those.
lot of fucking issues,
And
though.
they better have the fucking annual that didn't have a goddamn digital.
I'm sure they'll have that on there, too. We're all on Twitter. Ryan Higgins, Ryan, Brock Sager. I almost forgot your name there for a second. Brock Sager. Comics and Dakine is Omar. Larsen Bryce is Bryce Larsen. Toby XI is Toby. And Insanity Inc. Chaos is Charlie. Am I missing anything? The Comic Conspiracy at geekbox.net. That's our email. Send us an email.
Give our listeners the reminder that Valentine's Day is Thursday.
Valentine's Day is coming up.
If they do have a significant other in their life, they should attempt to peel themselves away from whatever it is and take them somewhere.
You
Go buy
You
your
always should.
SO a comic book.
Sure.
Go
good.
buy them a Marvel book.
Nah, that's not.
I'm actually going to be working on my first ever Chinese production on Valentine's Day.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a Chinese TV show being shot in San Francisco, and I'm working on it on Thursday, so that'll be
Nice.
a rather interesting experience.
Cool.
Because those four has always been Americans.
That is exciting. You know what's also exciting is getting your Valentine's Thor 1 through 4.
Oh, 1 through 4.
It's only been 4, right?
I think so. That sounds right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go ahead and wrap this episode up. That's it. We will catch everyone next week.